welcome back to the Morning Blend, where we're cooking with Thunder Bay. And just because Lent is over doesn't mean that you should stop eating that delicious seafood.
Mike Stigler is back, and this time he's making cornbread crab cakes. Hey, Mike.
Hi,
yeah,
Mike.
definitely. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Yeah, we're making cornbread crab cakes today, excuse me. It's an item that's on our tapas menu out at Thunder Bay, and it's one of our guest favorites, so I thought I'd bring it on and show you guys how we put it together.
Yeah, it's so fun out at Thunder Bay because you have this huge, great farm fresh menu. You've got all these great, big, items on your menu, but you've got wonderful tapas that have been really popular. And we've come out and we've actually just done all tapas on our entire table for our whole group.
Yeah, that's so nice is that we have a very big variety of items. You know, we have everything from steaks and seafood, prime rib, of course. But if you're in the mood for something lighter, maybe just something to accompany some cocktails after work, we also have options that fit that bill as well. So.
All right, so let's talk about these crabby cakes,
Crab cakes, yeah, cornbread crab cakes. These are one of my personal favorites. So I'm going to start off and show you what we all put in these. So we start off with Pacific Blue crab meat. Now this is crab meat that's already been picked, and this is from the knuckle and from the claw. So we're going to go ahead and put a pound of this stuff in. And just as an FYI, I do have this recipe up on the Morning Blend website as well. So
now this looks different than imitation crab.
This is definitely not surimi imitation crab. This is the
real thing.
This is the real
Didn't
deal
you hear him
here.
say it's from the knuckle?
That's
from
right,
the
it's
knuckle.
from the knuckle.
From the knuckle. Now, what I like to do, obviously, as you can see, is get right in with my hands. You could use a spoon and be all dainty, but you really want to get in there so you can work those flavors in.
Yeah,
so
people aren't dainty when they're cooking.
No, you don't want to be dainty.
Honest.
So we are going to remember that you want to season the crab. So before you add in your breadcrumbs or your binder or anything like that, you want to put your seasonings in first, because that way you're seasoning the crab rather than seasoning the other things that you put in there.
And is this just parsley?
This is cilantro that we're putting in there. Some people don't care for cilantro. I love it. It gives a huge flavor boost. If you're making these at home and you don't care for it, you could definitely use parsley.
Okay.
And then from there, we're going to add a little bit of kosher salt. And I always use kosher salt when I'm cooking because it has a lot different flavor profile, and it has like a flatter type of a flake, so it lays on your tongue and it dissolves a little bit quicker, so you're not left with that kind of a salty aftertaste that you sometimes get from iodized
the
salt.
salt won't just absorb into the crab since it's kind of moist?
No, it'll adhere to the crab, but it's not going to absorb in there and get too salty at all.
Okay,
so
and you never cook with sea salt, do you? Because I feel like that's really popular.
No, I don't really see a lot of the benefit from it. I mean, pretty much, the regular kosher salt is the stuff that I like to go for.
Okay, I didn't know crab like sea salt,
It already has sea salt absorbed into it, so, we don't want to go overkill on it.
All right, liming it up now.
So from there, we're going to put lime in there. If you prefer lemon for yourself, you could use that, but lime matches up really nicely with cilantro.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and put that in there. And then from there, we're going to put in our cornbread. Now, this is just regular cornbread that we've cooked off whole, and then you just crumble it up. And what this does is it adds another whole layer of flavor to it, because if you were to just use regular breadcrumbs, and you could if you wanted, you wouldn't get any real additional flavor from it. You'd just get the binding effect.
Now, what's a good tip for making the perfect savory and sweet cornbread?
Well, what I like to do is I use sugar in my cornbread. Some people claim that they don't like it in there. I like a little bit in there. And then after it comes out of the oven, I like to brush it with butter and then put a little bit of salt on top of it, like a salt and pepper combination on the top of it. That way you get the sweet from the little bit of sugar that's in there, and you also get a little bit of the savory kick from having that salt on the top. And the salt also likes to kind of highlight the sweetness in there, because salt highlights flavors really well. So that's kind of a nice tip that you can do.
Okay, now this is straight up mayo.
This is mayo, which of course you could use a light version if you want, if you're not concerned with the full flavor, which is of course what we're all about, is the full flavor.
Yes.
So we are going to go all in on the regular mayonnaise. And from there you can see we're just going to get in there and not be shy about it and work it all together.
And this looked like it was an even proportion of the cornbread to the crab. It didn't seem like either one was heavier than the other.
Pretty much. It's about a pound of crab and about 10 ounces of the actual cornbread. So it's a little bit less on the cornbread. But, cornbread, like I said, it brings a lot more to the dish rather than just being a binder. It also adds a lot of flavor. So that's why we don't skimp on the cornbread. And from there, we are good to go with our cornbread mixture for our crab cakes. And you could eat this just as is, because as you saw, we didn't put any sort of raw egg or anything like that in there. And it's actually quite good like this. I have eaten it this way.
I believe it.
What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and shape these into patties. And the way I like to do that is you take a little glob. That's a nice culinary term.
Glob.
A portion, and you kind of round it off like that. And then from there, we're just going to drop it right into our pan over here, which we have just a little bit of vegetable oil going into our pan like that.
We got about a minute left, Mike.
All right, I'm in it. And then you can see that we have some that are already ready to roll here. So what we're going to do with those is we're going to plate those up over here with our mahi with our, mango salsa. So we're going to go ahead and drop those right on there. We're going to give it a little bit of remoulade sauce for a nice pretty garnish and some good flavor.
That is my favorite that you make.
And
what's in that? What's in remoulade?
It's sort of like a Cajun mayonnaise almost. It has Creole mustard mixed with a little bit of mayonnaise, and it has some cilantro in there. There's salt, there's pepper, there's garlic, there's onion. It's like a boosted up kind of a mayonnaise type of flavor going on in
The
there.
presentation is fantastic. It's good? Yeah, I don't eat seafood, otherwise I'm sure. It smells fantastic though.
Yes.
The remoulade sauce
delicious.
is like, anything you put that on turns into just pure heaven.
It's sort of
magical.
a secret ingredient, so to speak. Yeah, put it in there. It's
That's
good stuff.
really, really good.
All right.
Really good. Mango salsa is so popular right now. Mango's in season. It's a great time to head on out to Thunder Bay. Try the crab cakes. Pewaukee is where they're located. Phone number on your screen. It's 94 and 164, exit 294, right off the highway. Thanks for being here, Mike.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we love it.